Hello there and welcome to the Sunday Footy Show. We've got a massive 2 hours ahead. The reigning premiers are finding themselves in a massive hole at the moment. Damien Barrett will tell us about their growing injury list. Rory has got huge concerns about Collingwood's defence, or as Rory says, defence. He'll tell us how Collingwood might be able to rectify those problems. Can they? Now, speaking of Dees, they're looking for a new coach at the moment. Look no further, Paul Guerra and co. This man, Matthew Lloyd, has added yet another premiership trophy to his bulging cabinet. Nathan Brown's also here. He wants to talk about flags. He's narrowed it down to 2 at the moment, perhaps. Fremantle and Hawthorn. Nate will tell us why. Stick with us. We cannot wait to bring you these next 2 hours. Yes, hello and welcome to the Sunday Footy Show. It is great to have your company. Now, when I said you've narrowed it down to 2, I've probably put words in your mouth.
I think there's still 4 to 5 sides who can still win the premiership, but I understand what you meant. You're doing an opener and you did a really good job, and we're captain positive today.
That's a shift from last week.
We were a bit negative last week, weren't we?
Yeah,
actually, you were a bit negative, and I just responded to your negativity. But let's get into the show, and we'll be positive all week.
We've started. Yeah, we've started. No, it is great to have your company. Damo's here, of course.
So, John, I'm worried about 2 things today. One, the Brisbane Lions mounting injury list, and whether that man, Llordo, will get his voice through the next 2 hours of this show, because it's a bit raspy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that orange cordial can really play with your vocal cords. We'll get to that in a tick. How are you, Rory?
I'm good. I was a bit concerned Thursday night for the Pies, but I love what I saw from the Hawks.
Well, we'll talk about that in a moment, obviously. But, Llordo, congratulations yet again, another premiership as coach of Haileybury's first 18.
Yeah, thanks, TJ. The voice is a bit raspy, but there it is. It's why you play football for and why you stay involved in football. So,
well done, Llordo.
Thanks, Damo. So it was,
you just wanted to get one on your own there? No one else around there?
It's one of the more even years in the APS competition. We won 4 games by under a couple of goals, so and had to do it the hard way, coming back from 31 points down.
Well done, Llordo.
So an absolute big thrill to win.
It was a rousing speech at quarter time.
I heard it was nice and calm. There was no Alan Jeans, Yabby Jeans style.
Well, I was following on the app, and you were 10 points down in the last quarter.
Yeah, and we hit the front only with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So it was
there any heroes? Was there any heroes? Do you want to name somebody?
I won't name names, but there was a number of heroes.
I thought it was all about Lord.
No. Thanks for your support. It was great.
So I said in the introduction there, the Dees should look. We've spoken about this before. I mean, are you completely writing off any entry into the AFL as a coach?
Yeah, I love what I do. I love the balance of what I've got, and I get as much joy out of that than I would even coaching an AFL team if I was ever good enough to get that opportunity. So, no, I do rule that out, yes.
All right, well, congratulations
Thank
again,
you.
mate. And how's your week been?
It's been great. Always great. Footy was good. Good games. I know that we're playing a lot of top versus bottom at the moment, but I thought the footy's been pretty good this weekend.
All right, indeed. And so are our guests. Alex Pearce from the Fremantle Football
Captain.
Club. Yep, we'll
Had
be
a big night last night.
Oh, big night, as in, result-wise.
Kick the winner.
Brad Close will join us from the Geelong Football Club.
Be close.
Yep, be close. Of course, his brand of clothing, which Nathan gives away, as he might even have some there for us. But anyway, he'll be along with the handball a little later on. But let's take a look at this round of football so far, because it has been intriguing with a capital I.
Hawks, who would have thought that? 64 points, 10 goals smacking. The Cats did what they had to do against the Bombers, who were competitive, 44. St Kilda and Richmond, it's not going to be name-a-game type stuff, but they won by 4 points. Sydney upset the Brisbane Lions and they upset the apple cart of the 8. And then the Gold Coast Suns, late the Blues were okay, and Fremantle got away with one against Port Adelaide. So some good games of footy.
Crows already topped the ladder, and they've got West Coast today. Should be 4 premiership points clear by close of play. You've got Geelong humming, you've got Collingwood labouring, you've got Brisbane Lions just hanging on. 2 losses now in their past 3 games. Hawthorn surging, Gold Coast with the game up its sleeve, and they're all trying to win, Browny, because the team immediately beneath them there in 9th position, Western Bulldogs, could win out, to use that American terminology. And if they do,
look at that percentage.
They will kick one of those teams above them out. So it's intriguing with what lies ahead.
Exactly. So this round of football, which has still got 3 games to go, has already produced a real topsy-turvy, the machinations of the 8, if you like, with Brisbane, also Fremantle, Gold Coast. But can I look back to Thursday night at Collingwood, because this is the most fascinating fall from grace so far. If you're a Collingwood supporter, you're a little frightened. If you're not a Collingwood supporter, you're rapt.
It's rare we'd start with a Thursday night game, TJ, but we want to look at the numbers and Collingwood supporters and everyone. What's gone wrong with them? Where are they at? So they've dropped up in every area, unfortunately. So you'd love to narrow it down to 1, but they were at the 5th ranked scoring side for 17 weeks. They're now 12th. points against. They were the ultimate team defence, system and also effort, 1 to 10. They used to punish teams off turnover. That's dropped off. And they could score really efficiently. That's dropped off 2 to 15, and then goals against. We hammered Charlie Dean last week. Then it was Billy Frampton, Darcy Moore. Mids aren't defending that well. So, yeah, they've fallen off in so many different ways.
OK, what about the defence, Rory?
So McRae spoke after the game about system and effort. I'm going to scrap the system. I'm just going to talk about effort. And it's not so much about their back six. For me, it's more around their midfields. Now, Hawthorn are about to enter this one inside forward 50. I want to highlight one midfielder and 2 backs, or Dacos might be up on a wing at the moment. But you've got John Newcombe in the middle, all on his own. These boys get sucked into the contest. John Newcombe kicks the easiest goal in the history of footy because no one wanted to put their arm across and get it done. That's effort. This one here plays out, good turnover. They want to go quick, Collingwood, which is what I love. Chris loses his feet. You've got to get up. That's too long on the ground. If we talk about effort, now you've got to want to defend, and you've got Dacos and Mitchell here. They're just jogging back through. There's no help for their defence, and more in particular, and Frampton get left hung out to dry. So there's got to be more effort there. Again, Hawthorn win this off half-back. I just want to watch Ginnivan here between Pendles and Lipinski. Ginnivan puts the head down. He goes, he breaks hard. There's no chase. The effort was just not there from the Pies midfielders to really help out their defensive six, who was put under the pump in this sort of scenario. So they must lift in that area, Llordo.
And as we pull apart what is going on with the Pies, their whole structure was thrown right out of whack early in this particular match when Jeremy Howe contacted John Newcombe so early in the game and was knocked out, taken from the field. He's been cleared of any neck and upper body damage from that moment, but clearly there's a HIA at play here. He will miss this weekend's game against the Adelaide Crows, and who knows as to whether he then is unavailable also for the game against Melbourne to complete the home and away season for the Pies. But it's a massive out for them, TJ, and a major concern for him.
OK, Nathan, pardon me, can I ask you, you know, as players, you're told don't panic, right? Just be calm, right? Just go through your processes and all that sort of thing. But the same would need to apply for the coach's box too, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, it would, every time.
So do you try different things? I mean,
at this stage of the season?
I'm talking about like starting Dacos on the bench, for example, that type of thing.
Well, they put McStay back the other night, and that was a little bit of a band-aid because of the injury that went down. But I think starting Dacos on the bench, look, I don't get it. Craig McRae comes up with a lot of things, and a lot of things work. 99% of things work. I just don't understand why you would start your best player and potentially the best player in the competition on the bench in a big game on a Thursday night against a side that you have to beat. I didn't get it. Does it change the result? It doesn't.
Yeah.
But it was just a strange thing for me to go into the game with Nick Dacos starting on the bench.
It was far from his best game when he did get on the ground. He was falling over. But I thought it was a strange explanation post-match too from the coach, Craig McRae, when asked about this very matter.
Because everyone starts on the bench in our team and no one's bigger than an individual. And he's one of our leaders, and it's just subtle. It's nothing major at all, because everyone takes a turn. Josh started on the bench last week, and I think it was a pretty cool thing.
There has been some tinkering. I mean, Scott Pendlebury as a sub, other players being rested over the course of this. But now that they've got, and you just highlighted those 5 games, Llordo, the losses have come in that patch. The Fremantle, Gold Coast, Brisbane Lions and Hawthorn, teams who are battling for those spots in the 8. Can they actually turn it around?
I find it hard to see. Like, you need everything to go right to win a premiership. And like Bobby Hill, like, he's out, you know, first it was sort of personal reasons. He's back for one, and then he's gone again for illness. So a player like him is so important. They've got the toughest trip in football now to to Adelaide Oval. So I find it hard to see how they can turn it around with what's going on at Collingwood currently.
I mean, but if you look at a team like Brisbane, who, you know, sort of get thrashed by 11 goals one week, come out and beat Collingwood at the MCG the next, then they go up, and it is a very
but 4 or 5, TJ. That's the only concern. Like, this has been a 5-week issue now.
Yeah, and you never that poor. Like, and the clips I showed there, like, if you can tighten up that area and just value that defensive transition a little more than what they currently are, they can turn it around very quickly.
It's a lot about Collingwood, so let's focus on Hawthorn because they look hungry to me. I've been doubting Hawthorn all year, whether they're in the top 4, whether in the top 5, and they can look at a premiership. And I looked that Thursday night and I thought, this team is hungry. They've got momentum behind them. 7 of their last 9 games. They go into a final series. Yes, they don't have Will Day, but I've changed my mind. I think Hawthorn can now win the flag. They don't want for anything other than that Will Day midfielder. They've got players rolling through like Moore. They had Newcombe, Nash, Watson, who rolled through there. At either end, I think they're set. They've got a decide on whether they're going to play the big, tall forwards.
Should they?
I think it's working at the moment,
Yeah.
and not
Well,
one of them was on the bench, on the ground at the same time. Always one rotated on the bench. Sicily is playing as good a football as you'll see. Since he's had that little time off, he's complemented Battle and Barras, and I think they can win the flag. I haven't thought that all year, but I'm looking at the Hawks now, and I think they have momentum.
Even outside the top four?
Even outside the top four. They've still got to make, obviously, a run and the next couple of games and go into finals, but I genuinely think they can win the flag. That's how good they've got momentum.
And
that's
Damo,
the thing you need.
Would you bring Weddle straight in? Do you think Carlton will pull the trigger?
It's such a serious injury. It's a back injury to such a young player. Look, they're aiming to get him back for that first final, but it's line ball.
OK, so what we get out of that, the Hawks are flying, the Magpies have had their wings clipped. Whether they can recover in time remains to be seen. But Craig McRae certainly facing the biggest challenge of his coaching career so far. What about the Fremantle Dockers? How can you not love what this team's doing at the moment?
Yeah, they're on a great run, playing with a lot of confidence, and it's not easy going to the Adelaide Oval to win. And this is the final moment. So Connor Rozee takes a mark. What a goal when you're cramping and you're on heavy, tired legs with 2 minutes to go. A big clearance win by the Fremantle Dockers getting forward. So suddenly they get a point and you're thinking a draw's pretty good for them. It's not as good as a win, but it's okay.
I was surprised that Lee actually wanted to take that through.
And then they have a set play. We heard Alex Pearce, the captain, speak about it. It's either him or Luke Ryan can push forward. He said, no, I'm going to take it this time. And what a mark and a clunk and then a finish it was from the skipper.
Well, it is a set play for the skipper. He spoke about that after the game, but I just wonder if he had have learnt that set play somewhere else, which we'll touch on shortly. But that was a huge win. Yeah, huge win for Freo over there. Yeah, they needed that because Port were coming. Port were unbelievable, especially from that second quarter onwards.
It's happened before though, Rory.
It has happened before, like I alluded to. Pearce is not alone in this, and this they might have learned it off the great man Longmuir himself. Look at that. That is identical.
It is, isn't it? That's unbelievable.
So he must have told him at some point, like, this is a play I want you to do, and use that vision. We'll have to ask him later. We'll ask
use me as the inspiration.
Yeah.
I tell you, the only thing that was identical, the only thing different is they didn't have Tony Jones within 10 seconds of that winner. Have a look at him go through there. Have a look at Thomas. It must have been in wide shot. Have a look at that jacket, but I'm not sure. But you were in there within 10 seconds. That's what a good boundary rider does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, thanks for that, mate. Yeah. But a little weight jibe in there? Just you couldn't help yourself?
No, it was a bit. It must have been.
It was a big jacket.
It was a big jacket.
It was a big jacket.
Wide frame.
Big jacket.
I'm loving what the Dockers are doing. They're coming from behind in games. I know that's arguably a slow against them, but since round 9, when they were really good against Collingwood, they have only lost once. That you can see it there, round 17 against the Sydney Swans, and even that game was only taken away from them very, very late in the last quarter. So it's a form line now that stacks up brilliantly. It's 11 wins of their past 12. They've beaten the Pies, the Hawks, the Suns and the Giants in that stretch of matches. There's a genuine belief now, and the only worry I've got for them is a bit similar to what you said before, Llordo. Do they bring back Weddle? The Hawks' perspective, does the Dockers bring back Hayden Young, which is a major issue now, given he's missed so much time with soft tissue injuries, as an out again for another reason.
Be a good sub for a final, wouldn't he?
Be a very handy sub. So was Fifey actually on the weekend too. The only concern for me is they did give up 8 goals in the second quarter against Portland. Good sides don't give up that many, Nathan.
I love it when good players influence games. We'll get to Alex Pearce in a minute, but Patrick Voss, let's have a look at him. We talk a lot about him, we laugh a lot about him. Have a look at his work rate here at centre-half back. They're down. They're down by 8 points. Somebody needs to do something, and it was Patrick Voss who got them going in this last quarter. Have a look at him. He's already out of the screen, just screaming towards the forward 50. So they're 8 points down. He takes this mark, goes back, takes responsibility. All of a sudden, it's back to 2 points. Voss again picks up this one. This doesn't result in a goal, but you can see just the game's turning at the moment. It's getting back in Fremantle's favour. Gives the handball off. Swiskowski misses, but you can see things unfolding. This one, he marks this. Have a look at it. He absolutely marks this one. The umpire says play on. And now Voss could have said that, and he could have remonstrated with the umpire a little bit more. He could have had a free kick against him, but he held his nerve, just politely said, no, that's it. He goes back, and in pretty much the very next play, the ball's still in their forward half of the ground. The very next play, he puts them back in front for the first time. So that was Voss. So he stands up, he does his job. And then you come to Alex Pearce behind the goals. So Alex Pearce behind the goals, you have a look at him right up here. As you said, Llordo, he's got that. He can now go forward. He was standing next to Willem Drew, so I don't know what happens to Willem Drew in this outfit, but Willem Drew allows him to go forward. All of a sudden, you got Connor Rozee, and he's saying, point it over there. He's pointing. That's where I want it. Connor Rozee can't handle him. So 2 leaders of Port Adelaide allow him to go past him, and he does that. 2 Fremantle leaders stood up.
And we'll speak to one of them, of course, Alex Pearce, in the next segment. So Fremantle next have Brisbane. You can see they're at Optus Stadium. Now, you could say that, you know, the Dockers meet Brisbane at the right time when they're on their knees, but it's probably the wrong time because they're going to get back off those knees at some point. They had their colours lowered yesterday at home to the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, it's a bad loss, TJ, because now they dropped to 5th on the ladder. And I know they won it from 5th last year, and I look forward to hearing from Damo on the injury front because look at them after that game. That's a bad loss. You know, you don't want to lose at home because Sydney Swans are hard to beat, but 2-point loss. Look at them. You can see the body language there and the disappointment because you may win from 5th once, but it's very hard to do it twice.
Absolutely. Dean Cox has transformed this year. Like, the second half of the year has been incredible, and I just wonder what would have happened if they had have had Goulden and a few of these other players, Mills and everyone, throughout the whole year. But they went in with a clear game plan, and it was to get numbers back, support their defence, but then off that, like all good sides, or like sides that want to challenge the best, you've got to go. You've got to be brave off half-back, Llordo. You've got to use your hands. You've got to run and carry in numbers. And they put Brisbane's defence to the sword, didn't
This run wasn't there at the start of the year, was it? For the first 12 weeks, that run was non-existent.
But it came off the back of, like, solid defence, get back, work back, win the contest and then go.
So everybody's talking about Errol Goulden comes back in and they win all these games. This isn't Errol Goulden. This is clear the fact that they are running harder and running in waves.
They played a different brand yesterday. They were more handball than they had been in the past, and it did catch the Lions by surprise.
And you got guys like Mills back too, which has freed up Blakey, who got involved a whole lot more. And now Warner, I think Warner's back to his best. You've got Papley back up forward, who provides that pressure too. So it is. They've got their leaders back, which is what you need.
Llordo, you said last week, I think, that you expect the Swans to play finals next year.
Yeah, I've loved the last 6 or 7 weeks since, Damo said, since they've got their players back. They were all over the shop as a team defence. They couldn't defend the ground. That's helped as well since Callum Mills, and they've got a few players back. So Damo touched on Mitch Lewis about 5 or 6 weeks ago. It's the first time I've heard his name raised with potential link to the Sydney Swans. If they need to land a decent... I'm not talking Jamari Ulehagen. I'm not interested in that. Like, they need a genuine player like a Mitch Lewis. Like, don't think it's Logan McDonald coming back. It's not a Marty. It's not McLean. If they can land that big forward who can stand up, well, then they could be premiership favourites.
Well, and you get the uplift from those guys anyway, because they're part of your system anyway, so they're going to keep developing, and you hope that they develop into someone bigger and better.
They've got a really tough draw, the Lions. Their double-up matches have been against teams placed 1 to 10 on the ladder. That's one part of it, and now their injuries are mounting. They had 4 players out of their premiership backline in that game against the Swans, and for Chris Fagan, the coach, it's now a genuine challenge. Before we go to that, though, this is now the problem that is obvious, and Lachie Neale will not be seen again by way of the latest reports until the finals, if they make it. Starcevic was a late withdrawal yesterday. He added his name to Payne and Ainsworth, who were already out of the team yesterday. So unless they're concussed, who was not part of that backline yesterday. So Chris Fagan got genuine concerns. There's a worry in the voice here.
Yeah, I don't doubt this group in any way, shape or form. You know, our best is very, very good. And our record on the road this year is probably the best it's ever been in club history. Records are like past tense though, aren't they? You've got to go over and do the job. So your record on the road doesn't matter when you go to Perth next week. You just got to get the job done on the day.
So it's Perth next week, and then the final game for the Lions, needing to win maybe both, but certainly one of them at the very, very least against Hawthorn, who you've just declared as...
Hasn't been a fortress there this year.
It hasn't.
Has it? No. There's a world where they miss out on the 8.
But they've been good on the road.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, and they responded to that really bad loss against Gold Coast with a good win against Collingwood, but then let themselves down badly again yesterday by allowing the Swans to get too far in front.
You don't think they'll miss the 8, do you?
No.
They're too good.
Well, if they lose both games, they're going to be very vulnerable.
It was a massive week for the Carlton Football Club. Of course, the board meeting there, rubber stamping Michael Voss as senior coach for 2026. So a good call there from the Carlton Football Club in terms of just creating some clear air and allowing him to do what he needs to do to not replicate the horror here they've had. So they went down to the Suns yesterday, but not before giving them one hell of a fright.
Yeah, like they have in most of the year. They've started the game well. They started the game really well and then dropped away to the point where they were almost 8 goals down, and then late in the last quarter they started to run and carry and move and give the handballs off, and they had runners coming from behind and they were marking the football. They look like a side that should be contending for a top 8 spot in the last quarter, but outside that, in the middle 2 quarters, they were very much what we've come accustomed to this season. So if they could flick the switch and play like this more often, and isn't that the $64 million question?
I'm never interested in late quarter rallies, like when you're cooked and you're down by 6 goals at 3-quarter time. I know you don't want to lose by 12 goals, but teams
Where's it been?
Where's it been? So I'll be more interested. Do they beat Port Adelaide again? Do they take that and start like that and beat Port Adelaide at Marvel? So I think sometimes you can, everyone's got quite excited about Carlton's last quarter, but what does it really mean when you're down by 6 goals at three-quarter time? Ben King, I think it was his most commanding performance of the season. So he's had a good year, Ben, but he kicks a lot of threes. But to go on and be command, kick 6 and clunk and take big grabs, that was his best performance.
Yeah, and we saw, and you called for it for him to get further up. That was the mark of the year contender, absolutely. But he got up the ground a little more. He did get a bit more involved, but he doesn't need, he's like Darcy Fogarty. He doesn't need over a handful of touches to be damaging. He sometimes has his 6, and kicks 3 or 4, but when you're leading to this midfield too, you're getting a fair few looks.
Yeah.
And they've given themselves a chance now to finish top 4. Again, a lot needs to go right for them for that to be the case. But they've got a game against GWS next week, and then the 2 matches, as we now know, that they've got in round 24, Port Adelaide being the first of those, and then the second one being the postponed opening round game against Essendon. So on form, they're going to be winning 2 of those 3 at the very least, and quite possibly all 3. And if they do win all 3, it could be top 4.
All right, Friday night it was Cardinia Park, and I saw Llordo. What is it, 200 metres from where you park your car to the entrance? It would have taken him an hour and a half, I reckon, with the amount of selfies.
Great people down there in Geelong.
I'm not going to demean it by saying it's like country football, but it is just so pure. It is so relaxed. It's just a great vibe.
Absolutely. You were doing well yourself, TJ, down there.
What's that?
Oh, but you were having a few selfies yourself.
Yeah, well, they thought I was
a bit flat at one point. They went to TJ first, actually.
He got his seconds.
To hand me the phone. So can you take the photo? No, it was great. But a really bizarre match review decision came out as a result of it, didn't it?
It did. You're referring to the Dylan Shiel being sent to the tribunal by the match review office for this push of an opponent, Mark O'Connor, into a contest which had the effect of tunnelling on Luamon Lual there. And look, I think we all had pretty, strong views on that. This has been a problem all year. Llordo, you went hard on this very matter, players being pushed into a contest in the off-season when it happened in a practice match, and I think the game's let it, unfortunately, flow a little bit to the point where they've now been made quite extraordinary decisions in the match review office. Have a look at the wording of this, which has now sent Shiel to the tribunal. It's effectively saying they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, at any stage, and I don't mind that, but they're using the duty of care component there now to send Shiel to the tribunal. But not only that, they're saying we think if it is to be found guilty, it should just be worthy of 1 week only. The game needs to fix this up. The match review office needs to be able to, I think, have that as a finding next year without needing a set of lawyers to determine that being the case. And look, they have endeavoured already and pledged to change the whole match review office.
Could the Matrix not get him and give him 1 week as it was? Is that's why they've had to send him there to get him?
Yeah, but the Matrix says that they want 1 week to be the outcome if he's found guilty.
But I'm saying, couldn't it have just come out to dangerous conduct 1 week?
I think it could do. They can do whatever they want, and they have in this occasion. And I hear you, the Matrix is either 0 or 3 sometimes. Now they've got this other clause where they can make it 1 by way of recommendation.
Well, I like it because they're condemning the action versus the outcome. I think for so long we've seen them condemn the outcome of a head knock and that kind of thing and concussion, but right now they're condemning the action. It's like, we don't want to see that action, so we're going to rub you out. Too bad.
But why didn't they condemn it in the pre-season when that man next to you went hard on the need to do so?
Great question.
Well,
I think we're seeing a shift with the MRO.
Is this the arrival of Greg Swan?
Yeah, it was already committed to before he got there, but it will absolutely be sharpened up.
Do any of you guys think it was anything other than premeditated?
It's an action that happens in football quite often.
But why would he
I think he's trying to make space for himself. I don't think he understands that there's another player coming in. I think you can fight that. So you look at that. He doesn't know that the Essendon player is going to jump in from the side. So what he's doing, he's trying to push his player underneath to get the ball over the back, and he doesn't expect the Essendon player to jump up, and that's an awful.
So you're defensive of Shiel?
I'm quite defensive, yeah.
I'm not. That's out of the game now, Browny. You can't do that.
But a forward will do that every.
No, but not anymore.
But a forward, inside forward 50, would be able to hold them out and then push them late like that and try and take the mark time and time again.
I think you're trying to say the expectations on players to be able to see the ball, their opponent and your teammate as well. That's far too great an expectation.
The game has changed. We used to use them as... I used to do it on purpose just to smash my defender into everyone. I just hope it'd be like 10-pin bowling. to get the ball out the back. That is not allowed anymore. And the duty of care, we'll probably see Dylan get his week.
Well, the Cats do have Sydney next week, and this game couldn't come at a better time. I think it's a blessing that they've got them. They need a solid challenge at the SCG just before they run into finals.
All right, and of course, Brad Close will join us on the handball, so we'll ask him about that. Now, the Saints had a win over Richmond. There's not much to say about that other than that man, Wanganeen Miller, was outstanding again.
I think Browny made the reference before. This is not going to be a name a game request down the track, but he was one of the few highlights in it, wasn't he? And he has now been for the past 3 weeks. This is his recent form. He's had
12 votes right there, Damo.
You reckon there's 12, do you?
12 votes right there.
Would he be top? Could he go top 5 Brownlow? Or that
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. He's coming hard at the moment for a top 5 Brownlow position. That is 12 votes. One of those I'm pretty sure is a loss, 36-2, which I thought he was the best man on the ground again.
His start of the year was pretty solid as well. I think we forget how good his start of the year was too, but he was enormous. I think Marcus Windhager stood up as well, not being the tagger. He's certainly damaging and proven himself as a legitimate midfielder too.
Well, do they keep him? I saw a report this morning, I think in the Herald Sun, that they're 70% confident that he'll stay.
That came from Caldolina on a radio interview, the CEO of the club. Right. I mean, 75 is better than 50, as it was maybe a couple of weeks ago. But again, we're around 22.
Late in the year, Damo.
It's late in the year. I mean, no one's got a read on it, though, TJ, and that's been the problem. Only Nasiah himself and maybe his manager, but no one else. All
righty, massive show coming up still. Llordo's Deep Dive. If you're a West Coast and Carlton supporter, you're going to love this in particular, but you don't have to barrack for either of those clubs because this guy's an out-and-out star.
Joy to watch. I could have watched his highlights all day long. So a superstar and a great person in the game as well.
All right, and the theme for your quiz today?
The quiz is on the back of Simon Goodwin departing Melbourne. So just famous coach incidents, sackings.
I'm backing you, Damo.
We've probably doorstopped a few over the journey, haven't we?
Well, you got rid of half.
Damien Drum in the mix.
Damien Drum. He's not in the mix today.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All righty. We've also got coming up right now, and it's always with some trepidation, what caught my eye and kicking us off is Ranger Rory.
Yeah, I'm going to start us off. And our fearless leader of mediocre even has his occasional blunder on air too. Let's have a listen.
Hawks 3-1-19, Collingwood 2-3-15, 2 minutes 20 to go in this first quarter.
You might have just got away with that one, I reckon. 3-1-19 Hawthorn.
Oh, I missed the quarter.
Collingwood 2-3-15. First quarter.
Can't wait for the second quarter.
Lots of tortas in footy, but I thought there's been some coachable moments across the years, so let's take a look at Nate's best of.
Triple M Red Lead's ending stats. Ash is with us.
Roll the old ones. Tom Stewart, arguably the best defender in the competition at the moment. Arguably Geelong's most important player.
That's to everybody helped us out, put this to get out to the end of the arts.
I mentioned Hawthorn are going well. Their last 3 games have been able to cover the line. Tom Mitchell, he is motoring at the moment. Regularly 35, regularly 40 disposals.
How going to finish off with Darren Jackson?
And now you've had this renaissance at...
Renaissance? Damien Harvick on the Triple M Harvick on replay screen.
When you make a mistake, you just laugh. Nobody's perfect. We just laugh, Tony. So if you are in mediocre over the next few weeks, and it's not on today, but just take it for what it is.
After you found out that was right, I might just shelve it for a while then. Hey, great to see Tom Hawkins still doing his bit, still pulling the boots on. He was playing for Old Melburnians in the VAFA yesterday there, and look at that. How's that for a lucky bounce? Well, that is one of the best bounces you'd see. And there he is there, just still got it. Still got it, has Tom Hawkins. Now, being the VAFA, of course, there's no money involved in that. You know, it's amateur status. Unlike your good self, Llordo, when you hire yourself out. Here you were. This was your match last year. Now, look at this. It's just a social outing, mate, but you take
That's 2 weeks.
Right? These kids, they're probably still in school.
I got him again.
Right? And then you look at the kid over in the corner. He's giving him one too. There, yeah. And there it is. Where's my money? Where's my money?
Cash, thank you.
Look at the crowd you brought in. There's nobody there.
Oh, Cricket's Lloyd.
When you're old, you get angry, and that's what I was that day. I knew I'll never to play again.
TJ, I was watching the news during the week, and I noticed a very innovative way for a particular person to attempt to deter some burglars.
Security cameras captured the moment the duo fled as the homeowner yelled threats and barked like a dog to chase them away.
So, Brownie, man barking like a dog.
Oh, you're not going to play.
Where do you reckon I'm going now?
You're not going to play.
There's 2 more favourite examples for us here.
What's wrong with you, Lord?
Oh, the things I do for this show.
Get blue steel again.
Do blue steel
Yeah, do blue steel again.
Throw the old ones out there. OK, so you've had a long, and you just made mention that we played Channel 7 Vision there, but
I'm not entirely sure why we...
You've hated Channel 7 for a long time, and your great mate... Yes, you do. You and Tim Watson had this backwards and forward thing for a long... You don't like each other.
I don't think about Tim, to be honest.
You do, a lot. I mean, you always come in here, talk about Tim, and you always wanted me to play this vision of Tim.
Oh, come on.
Well, coming up after the break, we'll catch up with Demon coach. We got a party going on in it.
Is there a better song that is an outro for something like that? Because it can happen to everybody. It can happen to anybody. It even happens on Channel 9.
A little earlier on, to preview the match, we caught up with senior Geelong assistant James Kelly, is who I'm thinking of.
We got
It's a long pause, Stone.
Actually, I didn't realise. Did you slow that down? Was it that long, actually?
No, that's just what you sound like normally.
Very good, Brad. Something caught my ear and my eye last week during the Matt Kennedy handball debacle.
No, you're in strike here. You
What happened there? Oh, there's the pressure one. Pressure's got to me.
So I heard I could do better than that, and it wasn't from anyone on this panel. It was from Dave, our cameraman.
Dave Grohl.
You heard this, Lord.
This is like a Joe, the cameraman.
Yeah, and I get tired of people saying, I could do this, I could do that, more so than an AFL footballer. So I challenged Dave pre-show to say, OK, Matt Kennedy got 50. Let's see you, cameraman. Can you beat Matt Kennedy in a handball comp? And here it is. So the voice you heard there who said he could do better than an AFL footballer is this man, our cameraman, Dave Gray. So, Dave, last week you talked a big game. So
I didn't really.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't really.
We saw what you said. I caught that behind the camera, OK? So it's time to put your...
You talked a big game, Dave.
Yeah.
You talked a big game.
As long as I beat TJ.
No, it's about you saying you could beat an AFL footballer. So we're going to spin the target now.
Yeah.
And you've got 50 to beat in Matt Kennedy. You love the Cats, that's why you got the Cats.
Bring it home, Dave.
Can I just ask, how long have you been a cameraman here?
45 years.
OK, so for the first time in 45 years, focus, Dave. Focus.
I'm going to call him, Dave.
I'm backing you, Dave.
Come on.
Oh, 7.
Solid. Here, Nate.
Oh, 14. Here, Dave, I'll give you the balls, mate.
Well done, mate.
Line them up.
Oh, come on, bullseye.
No, he's on
21.
track.
28 close.
He's going to beat me.
He's on track.
And a 5. That'll be 33.
Left hand. This is the one.
33.
Left hand now.
Now the left.
OK, so
Now the left.
Dave, your football career, you played for Williamstown
CYMS.
and also the Channel 9 team, the Gunners.
But also, his son won the game off his own boot yesterday, so don't let your son down the swamp.
Which one, Jack or Ben?
Ben.
Oh, it's a bit
38. The pressure starts to
Focus,
build.
Dave. Focus.
Oh, 43.
Oh, he's gone.
Come on.
7 all tied.
Oh, 48.
Oh,
Yes, 55. We won the cup.
he got there.
And you beat Rory.
Get him.
And a 7. 62.
Equal with me.
Well done, Dave.
Hang on. Mate, we're not going to get people coming on our show. Soon people are going to be avoiding this segment.
Now we should get Beamsy on.
Yeah, that'd be good.
No, to handball him.
Now, just to finish this off,
Alrighty.
who do you want next to target in the handball?
Tony.
Yeah.
No, my handballing days are over.
Well done, Dave.
OK, Tony could be good mates. Yeah. Grand final show, I'll have it on.
Perfect.
All right, you and
Perfect.
I.
All right.
All right, we might have a little something on it.
Okay. All right.
Can you arrange a temper bed for us?
No. You won't pay your debts anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, we'll take a break on the Sunday Footy Show. When we come back, we'll catch up with one of Fremantle's finest.
Very good.
Just trying to find your quiz. Is that the quiz down there?
No, it's right here.
Oh, OK.
So
You got to peak ready.
Sorry?
You're peaking again.
No, I'm not peaking. Oh, peaking as in P-E-A-K-I-N-G? Or?
Peaking.
Okay.
Peaking.
Alrighty, so too the Fremantle Dockers, you could argue. They are just flying at the moment, doing everything you'd want them to do leading into September, Llordo.
You can't win pretty all the time, and you just got to do what you have to do in a marathon season. Patrick Voss, Browny touched on. What a season and a revelation he's been with 3 goals. Bolton could have had a bigger night. 2 goals, 2. Frederick, 2. Sarong, what a season he's having. And Butters, the best for Port Adelaide. But the man of the moment joins us after his heroics last night. Alex Pearce joins us this morning. Alex, thanks so much. And Browny just showed the vision earlier. I'm not sure if you saw it, where he was behind the goals vision of you. And was it a calculated risk? Because if Port were to win the footy, would you have been caught short in a sense? So I want to ask you where your mind goes. The scores are level, and did you take off before knowing you'd actually won the ball yet?
Yeah, so when they kicked their goal to go in front, we were obviously behind with not much time on the clock. So in that situation, one of us goes forward, myself or Coxie, and I gave him a tap on the shoulder and said, look, I think I've got this one. And then as it sort of the game, as it went on, there was a rush behind, and I don't know, clearly the game's in the balance, and it's in our front half. So we're looking to win, not to draw. And when Caleb takes that mark, which was pretty nice grab from himself, I had a pretty decent match up at the time and a bit of space there, and luckily caught eyes with Caleb and just was trying to sort of tell him where to put it, and he put it in a decent spot, and just thankfully no one touched me, and footy gods shined, and just lucky that I was able to make the most of it.
Alex, I remember you had an amazing win in Geelong one time, and Andrew Brayshaw, I think it was kicked out to the wing, and that obviously you don't want to kick central because they've got loose players behind the ball, but he explained really well how you train scenarios. Is that something that you've talked through, but do you train it much, or you just know that's what you're going to do in that situation?
Yeah, we've done a lot more recently. I think early in JL's tenure, it was more around the game plan, just the pure game plan of stoppage setup, how we want to move the ball normally, how we want to defend. In the past 12 months, we've spoken a lot about doing what the game requires at certain times, and whether that's during quarters when we're under the pump, if the ball's moving a bit slow, being able to sort of take stock of how the game's looking, and then particularly in that situation when they're late in the game and we're behind, we've got a bit of a mode that we want to play in, that we're all aware of, where clearly it's nothing extraordinary. It's footy, really. We're trying to keep the ball alive, we're trying to bring it through the corridor, and a part of that is our structure changes a little bit, and we try and get myself forward and potentially have a good look. And it's again, it's because we've trained it, we're on the same page. I think Caleb's in that moment is sort of looking for me, and I'm wary of where the space is and where I can impact. And it's nice when it comes together. It clearly doesn't always come together like that, but I feel like because we've practiced it, trained it, implemented it in games, we get ourselves in scenarios where we've got a chance, and then you've just got to take it. And I think that's the positive thing this year, is that when we've got in those situations, we've got a bit of belief in each other that we can get it done. And you just need to be able to keep your head sometimes when the game's hot and the game's on the line. And I think we've come a long way in that regard throughout the whole team.
Hey, the Sydney game was played before you, Alex. Did you know that result because you guys started on fire?
I didn't actually. I'm not sure when that sort of finished in relation to our game, but I know before I got on the bus that it was close. Sydney was sort of up, but look, I'm not a big footy watcher at the best of times, and I think particularly with games like that when they're going to impact our ladder position, it shouldn't affect the way we play, and for me it's not going to affect the way we go about things. I know, like, going into this game, if we win out, we finish top 4, and that's all that matters. And that's clearly a bit of an outcome. It can be outcome-based thinking, trying to doing the natural thing, which is to plan ahead. And if we win this, they lose that. This is what will happen. But it's nice that we've got it on our own. Destiny's in our own hands a little bit. And if we beat Brisbane on Friday night, which is going to be a huge game, then we'll be in a good position. And then the following week against the Dogs, if we beat them, we'll finish top 4. But we've just got to keep coming back to acknowledge that, yeah, this is where our minds sometimes go. It's certainly where the media goes, and the papers will start forecasting what's going to happen. But it's particularly, I guess, my job and our job as leaders to make sure we keep coming back to what's our core. What's our core game? What's our DNA? How do we keep replicating that quarter by quarter? And we weren't perfect on the last night because the second quarter we played some average footy, and we probably got a bit ahead of ourselves, to be honest, and went away from what makes us good. And just luckily we were able to just claw our way back against a Port side who was playing some good footy.
I think you've covered just about everything there, Alex. We've run out of... you've stolen all our questions, mate, so we're going to have to come up with some new questions.
I do want to ask about Patrick Voss, though, because I think when he burst onto the scene last year and this year, you know, we've enjoyed the theatrics, we've enjoyed the energy, but now we're starting to see a guy that is a genuine emerging star of the competition who is influencing games. You guys obviously would have known that before the rest of the public watching him. Tell us about him.
Yeah, what you see is what you get, to be honest. Like, he's a very energetic man, passionate man. He's a sort of, great dressing room guy, full of energy and a bit of a joker. But like, since he was at train on for us a couple of summers ago, and he forced his way onto our list just by the way he went about his training. He trains and plays with a real intensity, and I'll just never forget when as soon as he started with us, we were doing match sim, and he'd grab the ball and he'd stiff arm someone and he'd run off and he'd have a bounce and he'd kick a goal, and he just, like I said, he forced his way onto our list. And he's had a journey where he obviously was at Essendon, got listed there. I think he'll admit that his professionalism has come a long way, and it's a testament to how much he's given to the club and really made a decision that he wants to be an AFL footballer and he wants to be part of our group. And the decisions he makes off field, decisions he makes at the club, he's one of the first in every morning, doing some extra touch and marking his stuff. He actually leads that group for a second-year player to take that responsibility and drag guys with him. And then clearly on game day, he brings that great energy for us. The pressure that he applies, I think we've got the best tall forwards in the comp for the way they pressure the ball carrier. And I just love the way they go about it. They're really unselfish, and he's great for the game because he gets people talking, he gets the emotions going. I made a comment last night that he's a bit like Valentine, just a bit tougher. He annoys blokes, and I'm sure everyone else hates him, but we love him.
You love him. Hey, Alex, you're able to articulate yourself really, really clearly at the tribunal during the season in being able to mitigate a sanction after your hit on Darcy Byrne-Jones. And then there was a similar-ish incident anyway, Stephen May on Francis Evans. Can I just get you to take our listeners through and our viewers today what you did say in your defence of that moment as you watch it back, and also where you think the game is at when you take in what happened with May, who got 3 weeks?
It's always an interesting one because we're dealing with such fine margins and such split decisions. Split moment decisions. So with mine, like, I guess I was able to talk through my technique in that scenario, and there were some earlier stages in the game where I was in a position and then I was able to roll off to the ball and make a play at the ball, and the way I jumped for the ball was the same thing. And there's a couple of moments like right before my impact where rather than brace and put my hands up like you potentially would and protect myself, and which often hurts the opposition player, I sort of dropped my hands and opened myself up, to which again is a split-second decision, but something that I was able to, I think, truthfully, convinced that I was mitigating some of that impact. And look, it's tough because when you talk at the pub about footy contests and when there's a 50-50 like that, it doesn't really come up, I'm going to make a decision to protect the player. But in some of these situations, like that's with where the game is and how we're rightfully protecting players' heads and concussion and things like that. Yeah. It's some of those just tiny little moments that you can make, and yeah, I think that was one of the main things that. Yeah, the pattern of my running and my marked attempts, I generally thought I was going to take that mark for a large period, and then right at the last second was able to drop and actually open myself up, and I think that was one of the main things that helped me get over the line and get it thrown out.
And you got over the line last night too, TJ.
Yeah, you got some votes?
Yeah, got some votes, yeah. A couple of Dockers, a couple of power players as well. Because Caleb Sarong gets 8, Butters 8, Jackson 7, and Aaliyah took 17 marks last night, so he gets in the votes as well.
Yeah, Alex, great to have you on board, mate, and Nate's got some prizes for you.
Best prize pack in the business, a family pass to Gumbaya World, where water slides, tour rides and wildlife collide. I go out there a lot. I love it with the family. HitFit membership, combined body weight and boxing for a full body workout. And you'll be best dressed on the golf course. Clutch & Co. and Catstar, who's coming up later, Brad Close's clothing brand. Be Close, your swing, your style. And a box of Chrome Tour golf balls and a cap, thanks to Callaway. A lot of golf stuff there. Bar Fridges Australia are back. Bar Fridges Australia is your one-stop shop. A pair of Aquilas, premium quality footwear since 1958. A pair of Rixie's eyewears. Rix eyewear that inspires confidence. Platform 28 just here at the Docklands. A free meal as well. And elevate your wardrobe with the latest streetwear style from St Goliath. 2 pairs of hybrid undies in a mid and a long leg from the Better Collection. They've sewn elastic into the groin line, which is a game changer. Treat yourself to a batch of Daniel's Donuts. Book a delivery online today. And some caps from Travis Matthew.
Fantastic, Alex. Good on you, mate. That's all coming your way. Thanks for being on the show. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Not bad. I've kept a couple pairs of Rick's eyewears. That's nice. Good friend Tommy Sheridan doesn't send any of those my way, so that'd be very handy.
Yeah, and as is everything in the prize pack, including Gumbaya World, and you'll love it out there too. Just be careful of the quackers. Mm-hmm. They bite. All right.
Righto.
Good on you, mate. Thanks very much, Alex.
Thanks, Johns.
Okay. He chopped me. He just chopped me. He chopped me.
He did.
All right, he's a good man, and they are flying at the moment. We'll take a break. Plenty of football to come right after this.
Chris Judd left a great legacy at the West Coast Eagles, Carlton, and on the game generally. His record is unbelievable, and it's 279 games, 228 goals, but we all just love Chris Judd and the way he played, the scintillating run, speed, dynamic nature. Is as good as it gets, and look at that record. 2 best and fairest at the Eagles, 3 at Carlton, 6 All-Australians, Brownlows, he did it all. Chris Judd and a Norm Smith medal. But round 1, the West Coast Eagles didn't select Chris Judd, and after seeing him in the waffle, they said, this bloke will never play waffle football ever again. So this is round 2, 2002, Collingwood at the MCG, and watching this back this morning, like the commentators are like, wow, what is this bloke doing out here on the MCG in his first game? So he had 19 disposals and kicked the goal, but you knew right away that they had someone very special playing for the West Coast Eagles.
I think Brody Holland kicked 8 goals in that particular game, Llordo, but you're right, the people who had something to do with him, and he had an injury interrupted pre-season, just knew they would never ever see him at a lower. Every great
shoulder tape too.
He did even then. Every great has a breakout game, and for Juddy, it came in the second season of his career. It was against the then 2-time premiership or reigning premiership team Brisbane Lions. They went on to win this year's premiership as well in 2003, but he kicked 5 goals, and it was the manner in which he pulled apart this all-time great Brisbane Lions midfield that again made everyone stand up and take notice and realise that this guy was going to track to win Brownlows and be a multiple All-Australian player. He just had the ball on a string in this game, and the speed with which he attacked that particular moment, he never ever looked back after that.
Yeah, it's his speed and explosive nature which he could leave a stoppage from. It's a rare trait in footy, and the best, absolute best of the best have it, and he had it in an abundance, didn't he?
And this was the peak of the Brisbane Lions' dominance in home and away seasons and finals as well.
And as you said, he played his part in a pretty decent midfield too, so it wasn't like he was on his own in that midfield. He had Cousins, Kerr, Big Coxie putting it down to him, and he performed in the big games too. In a losing grand final in 2005, he was Norm Smith. He was enormous, but he's got his revenge the next year when they were able to beat Sydney in the follow-up grand final.
And those epic grand finals decided by a kick on both occasions. Yeah, he stood up in both, particularly the one that the Eagles lost.
Hey, Rory, did you play on him much?
No, I got the back end of him at Carlton. I was there in his final game, but Always just in awe. It was one of those players you watched when you were younger. I was always like, I wish I had his speed, but was never quite blessed with his speed.
Well, that's him in the premiership right there. Let's have a look at him at his best, because it is the best highlights package you could have. Outside, taking huge marks. The run and the carry. This was goal of the year. Jordan McMahon's really quick, but he is putting space on him. And just his highlights package. You sit there and watch the fact that he picks it up at ground level and runs away the way he does all day. Have a look at that. He was as good as they get. He's finishing. Always kick goals, but sometimes in the midfield could butcher a footy. But I tell you what, when he got around goals, Damo, he did not miss. He was as good as anything at kicking goals. Have a look at that. Has the one bounce, has a look behind him, and always finished with a goal. Very rarely missed a goal.
It's acceleration, so we're watching this acceleration, but it's the cleanliness. So champions are cleaner than everyone else, and they do the fundamentals well, and that's where he's so good. It's just the pickups, the takes, and then put on the afterburners and settle himself. That's what separates himself. All this stuff here, look at that take. Like, you cannot teach that. That's what separated Chris Judd from the rest, is his cleanliness, and that's why he won 2 Brownlows. Look at Lachie Neale now. TJ, he's cleaner than everyone else, and what makes him special.
Well, you say he won 2 Brownlows. It would have been a travesty of football justice had he not even won 1. But the first was in 2004, and he was sort of having to share the limelight on this night with wife Rebecca, because that's where she made her debut on the red carpet in that red dress. But he only played 68 games, and there he was, up on the stage receiving the first of his Brownlows. There's Beck there in the red dress. I remember the boss said to me the next day, he said, I don't care about a follow on Chris Judd, find the lady in red. Anyway, and she was quite elusive. But also in 2010, Carlton, where he picked up his 2nd Brownlow medal. Why are you looking funny, Nathan?
I'm not.
Well, Beck was the story in many ways because of the red dress and the fact that she'd sort of made her debut there on the red carpet. But you couldn't take anything away from Chris Judd.
He could have won 4 or 5, couldn't he, really? Yeah.
And he had some weird suspensions, so we're not going to show them all. So he had chicken wings, he had eye gouges, but he did have a pressure point moment. So here he is with Michael Riscatelli. So we got 3 weeks for this. So pressure point and Juddy, he's a quirky guy. We all love Juddy. He's a close friend of all of us, and this is how he answered some of the questions with the media after the game. After the tribunal hearing.
Now, the act itself was less than a second's worth of stupidity. I've since watched a couple of Steven Seagal movies and realised that pressure points are no laughing matter.
Not to laugh.
He's one of the fun. He gave nothing to the media when he played, and since working with him in the media, he is proper funny, isn't he? We figured out he's right.
I reckon he was all right. Yeah, he was good to deal with.
He's hilarious. He's the funniest bloke I think we've worked with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then it all came to an end for him, unfortunately, when he rolled a knee at the MCG. And when you say he didn't give much to the media, he didn't much, but he was magnanimous enough in that moment to basically know that the career was over. And as he left the ground, he did wave to the crowd, and he did appear on the Sunday Footy Show the next day, TJ, to effectively say that would be it for him. And it wasn't unknown because he was still debating whether to go around, even in that particular season in question. But it was a sad way to go out. But like everything in his life, he made the decision in the moment, didn't regret it, and has got no regrets in life, and has gone on to be a successful person in the world of business. And very successful.
And he's given us a message, which is one of the best of the year, and he doesn't miss TJ in this. Oh, God.
Lloydie, mate, thanks very much for having me come in the top 10 in your list. It's a huge honour and much appreciated. I was desperate to come into the studio to receive the honour in person, but look, I know that TJ has a long history of trying to kiss Judds when they're in the studio, and I just couldn't get comfortable with it. So apologies I'm not there face-to-face to receive the honour. It does mean a lot, and I actually know how much you would have put into it and how much thought would have gone into it. So really appreciate being included, and all the very best.
His one-liners are the best. So he's at number 10. I'm looking forward to the top 9 because he's one special player.
Fantastic. It's been a highlight of the year and it ain't over yet. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, more football right here on, funnily enough, the Sunday Footy Show. Good on you, Juddy. Heard a malfunction, mate.
You're up.
Yeah, the soda water just went everywhere. But anyway, what about the Gold Coast Suns? They seem to be everywhere at the moment too, and they are exploding at the right time as they head into September.
Yeah, they were too good for Carlton. The damage was done in the first 3 quarters. Ben King kicked 6. Matt Rowell was outstanding. Miller's been enormous, but one man was kept a bit quieter than his last, couple of months, really. Noah Anderson was kept quiet, Llordo.
Yeah, and Nick Dacos would be happy because he wouldn't have got any votes on Thursday night, and then Noah Anderson wouldn't have got any votes in this game because Cooper Lord, Browny, did a good job in him.
Well, I've watched them this year, and I'm always surprised he's either out of the side or he's the sub, or he gets taken off and made the sub. It happened in the Richmond game when he was playing pretty good footy, and he's had the last 2 weeks. He's gone to Caleb Sarong, one of the best in the business, and now Noah Anderson, and he's done a job on both of them. But the good thing about it is it's not a complete lock away. He's been able to get the footy himself. Have they unearthed somebody? I think he's a really good midfielder outside of being a tagger. I love the move they've made. It's something different, and I think he's a good young player.
It's important as a tagger to get off the chain, and that's why he features in my votes. I think I gave him about, I might give him 8. Yep. Miller got 7, Ben King 8, and Matt Rowell again with 30, 12 clearances. He's just having a huge season, Matty Rowell.
Sydney did the job on Brisbane yesterday. We've already spoken about it, but it was a 2-point win. Sydney Swans, and the Lions kicked 3 inside the last minute. It was a comprehensive victory up until that point, but they did get close enough to scare them. Isaac Heaney with 5, Chad Warner was outstanding. Goulden, Sheldrick started to make his way as an AFL footballer. Dunkley, Ashcroft, the normal players without Lockie Neal got the football, but they just didn't move it enough. Logan Morris kicked 3, didn't have a lot to do, but Isaac Heaney, I mean, he is coming hard in the Brownlow as well.
Yeah, one of the most dynamic midfielders in the comp. When he goes forward, I want to see him spend about 60-70% time up forward because he's so damaging. He plays as a 190-centimetre forward, I reckon, the way he jumps and the way he marks the ball. His first 3 goals were all on the left foot in the pocket. And some of them about this one's about 3 in a row. 40-metre snap on the left foot. Made it look so easy. So he's having a ripping season. He also took contender for Mark of the Year, which we'll see shortly.
All Australian, Isaac Heaney?
I can't see how he misses it, Brownie. He obviously made it last year, and I don't think he's done a lot wrong this year when it's all said and done. Different team outcome, but just as good individually.
Ask you, is there a better midfielder that goes forward at the moment?
Pickett would be the only one.
Kicking goals. I think Isaac Heaney's the number 1 who does it. Yes, Cosy Pickett. But let's talk about the Brisbane Lions. We're still watching Isaac Heaney highlights, and why not? Have a look at that for a mark. Absolutely fantastic. But Brisbane, let's have a look at this incident with Logan Morris. So Logan Morris on the goal line and takes the mark, and then immediately apologises. So he knows what he's done, but you've got to make the most of it. If you're kicking goals like he is at the moment, another one helps out there. But here's a couple. Have a look at this one. Mason Wood. His actual foot is over the line. Mason Wood, when he takes a mark, we'll see that takes a mark over the line just to make sure of Mason Wood. Have a look at this one. This could be goal of the year. Could be goal of the year for Harmsy, but on the line. Old Tom McDonald, he wasn't going to let that one go through. He can't believe it. Old Harmsy, Tom McDonald. I think we've got a couple more here. You know what's coming, Llordo. Old Paul Barnard. Of course. You're almost over the fence, Llordo. Nobody's going to stop 13. You're only 10 goals up.
He was a tier 3, Llordo.
John
You're waving flags.
His best was 14, so I was chasing that.
All righty, good work. We'll take a break.
I'm going to do the votes first, Tony. I apologise, but we'll do the votes before you go to a break because there was players who deserved it, and that was Isaac Heaney, Darcy Wilmot, Chad Warner and Sheldrick.
Now we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. The quiz still to come.
Quiz is still to come, coaches.
Coaches and sack coaches. Coaches uproar, really. That's all coming up on the Sunday Footy Show.
3 in the morning, I just hear this little tap, 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 tap. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm awake and Higo is juggling footballs. 3 a.m. in the morning, doing this. You're at the...
I looked over at Patrick Dangerfield, who was the best player in the comp at the time, and he was knuckles deep into his second moose. And I was like, all right, knuckles things.
Was he still on the plane?
I tell you what, it's a great laugh, it really is, and you learn a lot along the way as well. Players, Monday nights on YouTube, and also Monday nights after Footy Classified. And strangely enough, Felix I saw in here this morning.
Von Hoff.
Yeah. Prepping in here, prepping like the day before.
Yeah.
I think because Zach Toohey was co-hosting last week, Felix is just thinking, I just need to stake my territory here. Jack Bowes and Ed Richards are among the guests tomorrow night too. So check it out as we move on now and take a look at the Richmond St Kilda game. Another 4 points for the Sainters, but more importantly, maybe another 3 votes for that man.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll get or maybe 3, or Marcus Windhager was pretty good too. But St Kilda, Richmond, it was a beautiful day for footy. There was actually a solid crowd there too, considering where both of these teams are on the ladder. But Marcus Windhager, Damo, is he better as a tagger, or do you prefer him as just a flat-out midfielder?
I prefer him in the ladder, and that's sort of what he had the role of yesterday, wasn't it? 32 disposals, 6 tackles. There was still a defensive element to his game, and that's how he has been used in the past. And I know that Llordo's got a lot of time for this particular player, given you had a dealing with him, Llordo, in the junior ranks. But look, he's one of those Saints who will be interestingly monitoring the Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller situation, obviously the approach by the Saints of Tom de Koning, and the need to keep players like Windhager on their list while they are doing these negotiations. I just hope that they have enough money left for people like him, Llordo, who are on the list already and want to stay on it and want a bit more money.
Well, the smart club will offer him an extra 100, 150 a year to get him out of there, out of St Kilda, if he's not getting what he needs. But I remember watching him as a junior, and he's a star. Like, as I said, I'm talking a genuine star. And St Kilda just didn't want someone to bid on the first 40 picks. People would ring me up, I'd say, this guy's a top 20 to 30. And St Kilda, I think when they're in their academy, people don't do the work on them. And so St Kilda got him for free. So I know they've whinged a bit, St Kilda, over academy things, but it was an absolute gift. Marcus Windhager outside 40. Well, if you can keep Naz and you've got Windhager and you've got Sinclair playing good footy, it becomes a pretty dynamic mid-half-back line. And here are my votes as well, because I gave the top votes to Windhager and Naz because they were both outstanding. They were both enormous. Carlton Winky too was unbelievable down back. His intercept was enormous. So, and Sinclair's run-off half-back, again, set up a lot of their play.
We love to keep tabs on local football, be it in Victoria, WA, South Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, anywhere, Tasmania for that matter. But the focus very much on Lang Warren yesterday, because their assistant coach in Brett Mills chalked up a wonderful milestone, 500 games
Millsy
as a player and a coach, and Hannah Kuhar was there for Sunday Footy Show.
It's been amazing, to be honest, even though we didn't get the result we wanted in our game, but what the club have put on for me has been amazing, and it's a massive part of my life. Like, I've been here since 1979 as a junior and right the way through, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm just over the moon. You play footy for your mates, and when you can share something special like that, it's out of this world. It's so good. I'm not sure what they've got for me tonight. I'm a little concerned. I didn't know about the youth of half-time. I'm not really a humble man. I'm actually out there, to be honest. It's just great for the community, and I'm very, very proud of what I've done, to be honest. Thank you very much. I'm very humbled by it, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh, good on you. That's great, Millsy.
In the back of a tinny.
How's the club room?
Brilliant.
Look good.
Is that
great setup.
Lloyd Reserve, I think there might be. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Millsy.
Very impressive. All right, now... You're into your EPL?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's on Stan this year.
Oh, mate, I cannot wait for this.
I cannot wait for this.
Right, it is on Stan Sport. Don't forget that Stan Sport, the new home of the English Premier League, it all kicks off this week. So if you haven't signed up to Stan Sport, get onto it now. It is the new home of the EPL. Stream live and on demand in 4K. The first match is Liverpool taking on Bournemouth. The Cherries from 4 o'clock next Saturday morning. So don't forget, Stan Sport, the new home of the EPL. Who do you support?
It's a pretty boring one, but I'm Manchester United on the back of David Beckham. I used to love David Beckham in the era where they had Teddy Sheringham, Dwight York, Andy Cole, back then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So still Manchester United, who aren't going that well, but I reckon they're going to bounce back.
Second longest answer we've had today, I think.
TJ, I lived in Scotland for 3 years as a kid, and I loved Aberdeen and Liverpool in the Scottish League, and Liverpool was my team.
Oh, well,
jumped to Tottenham, but now I'm back on Liverpool.
Because
now Ange is gone.
No Ange, no Llordo.
Yep.
No, exactly. So don't forget, it all starts on Saturday morning, 4 o'clock. Liverpool up against Bournemouth. All righty, we'll take a break on the Sunday Footy Show. We'll be back with more in just a moment with Nathan's Quiz.
Sunday Footy Footy Show, time for everybody's favourite segment, Browny's Quiz, brought to you by Sportsbet. And a very good morning to you, Tony Barber. OK, let's get into it. Who are you playing for? $500 for Sportsbet.
I'm playing for Jake Stolfer from Williamstown, down your way, Brownie, in Victoria.
Beautiful.
Michael Lemberg, Karen Downs, Victoria.
Patricia Williamson from St Clair in New South Wales.
I'm playing for Mark Welsh from West Moona in Tasmania.
Welshie, OK, $500 on the line. It is all about coaches. So let's get straight into question number 1. Which coach has a medal named after him? Which famous coach has a medal?
Llordo doesn't forget.
John Coleman is right. I would have had Norm Smith as well in there. So 1.
Jock McHale?
You got to hit the button first, and then you get to answer it.
So 1 to me.
Famous faces, 1 to Damien. Which Richmond coach was sacked in 1981?
Tony Jewell.
After coaching a team to a premiership in 1980 is Tony Jewell.
That's stiff, isn't it?
Well, here are some famous coaches.
Whew, jeez. Well, Mick and I get on like a house on fire these days, so I'm going to go Mick Malthouse.
Mick. +3.
Mick,
that is a good one. OK, for a bonus point, who took over as Richmond coach in 82?
Mike Patterson?
Oh, sorry. Mike Patterson? Incorrect, -1. It was Francis Burke. Question number 3. Which coach found out they lost their job?
Damien Drum.
From the media. Damien Drum is right.
You read that script?
Reported in Melbourne. Are you being given the sack? Do you know anything to that? No. Is that true?
It's been reported in Melbourne.
Oh, I don't know anything about it.
Disappointing. Very awkward. OK.
Very awkward.
Which current coach knocked out a former St Kilda coach with a shirt front?
Alan Richardson was the one who was shirt-fronted, and I'd say,
Damo's the king.
-1.
Michael Voss.
Michael Voss is correct. Let's have a look to see if it was Michael Voss.
Haven't got it.
No, we haven't got it. OK. Which coach made the Adidas 3-stripe T-shirt famous?
Llordo doesn't forget.
Llordo. Famous faces, Llordo.
I'll go Sheeds.
You've got to go.
Sheeds, got to go. Sheeds is... You can steal a point off somebody.
TJ.
I'm lucky, TJ.
Can I tell you, I always find that an honour.
Yeah.
OK. Which former coach finished his playing career at the end of 1983 and coached round 1, 1984?
Lee Matthews. No.
Incorrect.
No,
-1.
Kevin Sheedy.
Kevin Sheedy.
Damo's the king.
Incorrect.
Malthouse.
Mick Malthouse was -1, and Damo gets a 1, and that's a famous faces, Damo.
All right, so I'm up to Blighty, please, Brent.
Blighty. +1. OK, let's have a look at the score. Damo 4, TJ 1, Rory -1. Have you ever won one?
I've won 3.
OK.
Have you ever answered one?
No, it's more been by default, my wins, yep.
Who did David Pittman cop a spray from?
Llordo doesn't forget.
Well, let's have a look.
Oh, no.
To start like that means you won't win, particularly with a pathetic effort from Pittman in ruck. I mean, it was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen from a big film. That's pretty hard on an individual, but he's going to have to live with that because we got carried away as a team.
I'd love to see that come back. Imagine that one.
2 premierships later for Pittman.
OK. What brought about Robert Wall's sack in 1989?
Yeah, Warwick Capper goaling for the Brisbane Bears after the siren at Princess Park.
He did. Next question. Who took over from Robert Wall? Alex Jesaulenko. Tony's coming. Question number 9. You might not want to do this, but I've got a point for somebody who wants to do a Ross Lyon impersonation.
Look, I just think if you want to start talking about the percentages and the KPIs, you know, I think maybe you've got to look at the other teams and that. We're in a rebuilding phase.
Look, I'm not going to take a point off you. You're not going to get a point either. It was pretty bland.
But Ross is
I like
bland.
the fact that you gave one, but you're not getting anything for that.
Oh, that's harsh.
For 2 points, name every Gold Coast coach.
Rodney Eade.
Yep.
Stuart Dew.
Yes.
And the current one, Damien Harbury.
Incorrect.
You missed Guy McKenna.
He missed Guy McKenna, Damo, and it's a famous faces. Here he comes.
Negative. Get a negative, Damo.
Let's go with Pago down the bottom.
Dennis, you've got the run on.
Okay.
Now, can we just establish the rules? Do you lose a point if
Plus
you get...
1, -1. Absolutely.
Okay.
You do lose a point.
You lose a point if you get it wrong. Who has coached the most games of AFL, VFL?
Pass.
Mick Malthouse, -1. Name the 4 clubs Mick coached.
OK, Footscray, West Coast, Collingwood and Carlton.
That's +1. Who has coached and played the most AFL, VFL games?
Played and coached AFL, VFL.
He's on the board.
Chris Scott.
Incorrect. That is Kevin Sheedy. OK, so Damo 6, TJ 3, Llordo 3, -1. OK, who am I? I am a current coach for 5 points.
Justin Longmuir.
Incorrect.
It's worth it.
I am a premiership coach for 4 points.
Damo's the king.
Chris Scott.
Chris Scott is the answer, Damien. That was a good guess. Well done. Who are you playing for?
Jake Stolfer from Williamstown in Victoria, Brett.
Jakey boy from Williamstown. I'll bring that 500 home with me later today down to Williamstown, but that's coming to you from Sportsbet. If you want to join in, wwos.com.au/Brownies quiz.
Good work, Damo. Well done. We'll take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show.
The primetime takeaways, we've focused a bit already on Hawthorn and Collingwood, but I thought we'd look at Geelong from Friday night, and they've had a really soft run. North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Essendon. They finished with Richmond in the last game, and they've got Sydney at their CG next week. But I want to ask the question, do we see a weakness at all in Geelong? Do they lack for anything heading into September?
A challenge.
Yeah.
And that's why... well, no, that's what I think the weakness is, that they've had this, I'm not going to say a soft run, but also a lot of home games and a lot of lower clubs, much lower than them. So maybe, as you said earlier, Sydney's come at the right time for them next week.
On-field, Rory, do you see anything?
Yeah, I think the distraction of Jez's 100th has become more around... It could potentially become more around self than team. And for me, that's a slippery slope. When you're coming into finals, you want it to be all about team. If he hasn't kicked the 100 before finals, what does that look like then for their first couple of finals? Are they still trying to give it to him? Where when you need to win finals, you have to be all about team and team footy, and that's what I want to see from Geelong.
Well, I've got a slight concern about the depth of midfield. I know in Max Holmes and Bailey Smith, you could argue they're in the best dozen players in the entire comp, and they are functioning and combining beautifully. But Tom Atkins... really good player, but I just think they just drop away a little bit. Jack Bowes was good the other night and he's been serviceable, but I just feel that there may be one quality midfielder short.
I think if their ruckmen stand up, they're a huge chance to win the premiership, but obviously sometimes that has been their Achilles heel. But if their ruckmen stand up come September, they're a big chance.
I really like O'Sullivan as a player. I thought he was outstanding the other night, but I still don't think he's ready to take on some of the players he plays on. I think he gets outmarked a little bit too often as well in defence. So I agree with you on the depth of midfield, and sometimes a second key monster back's probably the only issue. But they're in the mix again.
All right, Lou Richards leaderboard. Let's have a look at that.
Who is on top of the Lou Richards leaderboard thanks to Lexus of Blackburn? And it is Nick Dacos, but only by 2 to Nasiah Wanganeen. What a big move that's been. Anderson doesn't vote. Holmes, Sarong, Bailey Smith. So that is the top 6. It's down to 2 votes at the moment, and they are playing for this. The Lexus LBX worth $55,500. Paddy Cripps won it last season. I went out to the showroom. It is a beautiful showroom out there. Lexus of Blackburn. They offer up a car on Tuesday night on Classified with Ed as well. Great people of the show are Lexus of Blackburn. Great after-sales service too, Tony. They're an unbelievable organisation, Lexus of Blackburn. But Nick Dacos, only the 2-vote lead.
All right, beautiful work. We'll take a break. Still to come, Damo's agenda. We're going to catch up with Stephen May and also Handball, where I think maybe one of our very own might be stepping up today. That's still to come on the Sunday Footy. Now for Damo's agenda.
It is, TJ. We saw during the week Melbourne Footy Club moving on Simon Goodwin, its premiership coach of 2021, 4 years later, gone. And the intent, TJ, from what I was able to ascertain as this story unfolded, as per Tom Morris's reporting on Tuesday, was that they're keen to go down the experience path. Nathan Buckley being a person of interest, John Longmire, who was quoted in News Limited today saying that he's very comfortable with his current role at the Sydney Swans. I didn't take it, just from what I'm reading from afar, as an absolute 100% definitive no. Another man who's a person of interest there, Adam Simpson. So a couple of premiership coaches there who I'm convinced that they are going to have a crack at, and I reckon they might still revisit the whole John Longmire situation, despite today publicly him saying that he loves what he's doing at the Swans.
They won't go for an untried coach?
Look, they could open it up to that, TJ, but just, again, gleaned all this after they'd made the decision, had no line of sight on it, but just the calls I did make to the people who are going to be instrumental in how it looks was that they'd head down the experience path first. TJ, you've been big on the whole free-to-air TV component to the AFL season this year. We saw during the week that in round 24, Channel 7's going to relinquish its access to that Thursday night game, the Essendon Carlton game. The trade-off to that is they'll do 2 games on the Sunday. They're massive games. We can see how the AFL's configured that round 24 fixture, taking in that overhang game from opening round, the Gold Coast Suns and Essendon being the last game of the season. But the 2 Sunday games there are clearly going to shape the finals. And it's interesting that the AFL allowed Channel 7 to broker that deal with it at this late stage of this season.
Well, I think it's been deplorable, the fact that there's been matches on a Saturday night that have been terrific matches, and if you can't afford Kayo or Foxtel, then you don't get to see it. Personally,
go to a pub.
I beg your pardon?
Can you go to a pub?
Well, if you can't afford Foxtel, you can't afford to go to a pub and pay $18 for a pint.
RSL?
Well, you still have to pay.
He's got options.
There's options. There's options. It's not going to change. I'm like, there's options.
No, it's not going to change, but I have great empathy for people who can't afford to actually watch it if they're having to pay for it. And as I said, personally, I think it's worth paying for, but not everyone can
go and have water.
Or go to the next door neighbours.
Exactly.
Rory, go to the next door
neighbours. Go to the neighbours.
Yeah.
Or
charge $10.
Be social. Get out of home.
Or...
Well, people want things with these. People just want things like convenience. I'm just like, well, if it's not convenient, go somewhere else, make a friend and go be social at a pub.
Oh. You need to get back to the real world, Rory. Or you can just listen to it on 3AW. All right, Damo.
Thank you.
You can blame Rory for taking up the next topic there.
Different viewpoints.
And Damo will be back in that chair right after the break.
Make the most of the cooler months with a winter retreat at Langham Hotels and Resorts. In Melbourne, Sydney or the Gold Coast, enjoy a room upgrade, buffet breakfast for 2, bottle of sparkling and late checkout. The Langham Melbourne, a proud supporter of the Sunday Footy Show.
Hope you're enjoying your morning. Still 3 games to complete this round, Savo.
And the Giants need to win this one. They played the Kangaroos, so they should comfortably win this one. And at home, it should be a fairly sizable victory.
I'm really looking forward to the next one. 3:15 at the MCG, Melbourne versus the Western Bulldogs. First game for Troy Chaplin. But
are they a chance, Llordo?
Well, of course they're a chance, but too much to play for the Dogs, and they should win.
All right, Jess Webster is at the MCG. She's got someone who might be able to answer that question.
Thanks, TJ. I'm here with Stephen May. Stephen, thanks so much for your time this morning. Obviously, it's been a big week at the club with the departure of Simon Goodwin. How did you personally react to the news?
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked. You know, he's been my only coach at Melbourne and have such a great relationship with him and, you know, been through a lot. And for him to be, you know, just gone sort of the next day, it's always sad. And, you know, I've been a part of a couple up on the Gold Coast and it doesn't get any easier. But, you know, the board's decision is to put the club's best interests at the front of mind, and you know, we're going to get behind Chappie in the last few games, and you know, see where we can go.
Did you expect the decision, or did it come as a shock to you?
I mean, I think it's, you know, we're in an industry where you need to win games, and after being so successful for a while in terms of our win-loss, losing a lot, you can sort of sense it. You know, the media talk about it a lot, so you sort of read about it, but you know, probably after the win against the West Coast, probably didn't expect that timing, but you know, it was obviously a decision they'd made a while before.
Troy Chaplin gets his opportunity. Tell us about his coaching style and what he'll bring to the side.
Yeah, Chappie's been my coach since I came to Melbourne. He was our defenders coach, so really he's actually in a pretty offensive mind, so you might see a bit more offensive the way we attack the game, which he's sort of taking control of our forwards this year, and we've seen a good improvement in that. So we'll see. You know, it's pretty hard with, I think, 3 games, you know, to put you a little bit of flavour on it. But you know, the guys have huge respect for Chappie, and you know, starts today against the Doggies, and be interesting to see how we go.
And you mentioned you've been a part of this a couple of times with the change of coach. What's the mood like at the club at the moment?
The mood, it's probably a bit of disbelief for a lot of the young guys and a lot of the players who've only ever had one coach. So it's been my job as a leader to, you know, you're allowed to, you know, bask in that and be upset, but you got to move on pretty quickly. It's a pretty ruthless industry. If you don't win, you know, change happens, and you know, I feel like my leadership's come into that a bit because I've been, and so was Maxie Gawn and Tommy McDonald being part of a few new coaches. So, you know, the boys will be okay. You know, first couple of days have been tough, but you know, it's been business as usual.
Speaking of ruthless, it's been a disrupted few weeks for you with concussion and then suspension and obviously, you know, leadership as well. I know you must really want to be out there. So how's it been for you for the last few weeks, and how much are you looking back to getting back on the field next week?
Yeah, no, it's been really tough. The concussion one, you know, I haven't had a big concussion like that for a very long time, and the suspension was a little bit unexpected, but you know, it is what it is, and that was hard to sit with for a few days. And but then watching us play against St Kilda was really good for 3 quarters, and then to watch us lose on the final sort of kick was really hard to do in the stand. So I have been, you know, a bit antsy in the box and watching, but you know, I can't do much about it, and I'm looking forward to getting back out there. It's only 1 more week to go. It feels like it's been about 6 weeks.
We can't wait to see you back. A very special day today, the Pink Lady match against the Western Bulldogs. Tell us about that amazing partnership you've got with the Breast Cancer Network Australia, and also the name that you've got on your top at the moment. Yeah, we have a great partnership with BCNA, and one that's really strong. And Pink Lady match is so important to raising awareness. You know, chances are everyone knows someone who's affected by breast cancer, so it's really prevalent in today's society. So you know, thanks to Zurich for donating the names on the front of our warm-up tops. This is Kumi. This is my mother-in-law, actually, who's had breast cancer since 2021. So you know, I'm a bit flat I don't get to jog out and wear this today, you know, to show her, because she'll be in the Guard of Honour with a lot of the other survivors. But I think it's just such a great initiative, and you know, we're just raising so much funds for a much-needed cause. Amazing day, and a big challenge as well against the Dogs. Can you challenge them for 4 quarters? I believe the chances of winning is pretty high after a coach change. So I'm hoping. The Doggies are flying. They've got a great side. You know, I really do think they're one of the best teams in the league, and what a chance for Chappie and our boys to go up against probably one of the benchmark teams, and a team that needs to win to play finals. So you know, it's going to be a tough challenge with some of their big key forwards, so that's what I'll probably have my eye on the most. But you know, I believe we'll go out there and give it our all. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. No worries, Jess. Thanks. Back to you, TJ.
Terrific. Jess Webster there with Stephen May. Just look, 21,000 Australians every year diagnosed with breast cancer. So today, via the Pink Lady Match, is an opportunity to dig deep, raise awareness. You can do that via pinkladymatch.com.au. You can buy a virtual seat there. You can buy a beanie, and as I say, try and get on top of this insidious disease. One more match to complete the round.
Yep, West Coast first, Adelaide over in Perth. Adelaide will win this. You'd think by 60-odd points, the way West Coast have been playing, they've had a horrendous year. So big Tex Walker will sit this one out, but that forward line will hum.
Roll the opener.
TJ, today's animal fact, we're going to take a look at the slide down the ladder of the Collingwood Football Club. After round 17, when they played Carlton, they were on top of the ladder, and then they were 10 points clear. They played Gold Coast in round 18, and then Freo in round 19. Had a little respite round 20, Richmond, so they had a little stop there, didn't go down any. But then, round 21, Brisbane Lions lost. Round 22, Hawthorn lost. They are in free fall down the ladder, TJ. It's a shame.
Oh, you say that with sincerity?
No, it's...
Nice, Damo. One of your best for a while.
Yeah. All righty, we're going to take a break. Don't forget, Footy Furnace is on tonight. Tom Morris doing his very best there alongside the 2 legends of the game, that man, Jimmy Bartell, and also James Hird. It is a great way to wrap up your footy weekend. Footy Furnace, check your local guides. We'll be back right after this with the handball and something a little different, perhaps, Rory. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It is time for Louis' handball, and well, a handball with a bit of a difference today.
It is. It absolutely is, because there was meant to be somebody else here, another AFL player, but Rory is going to step up in his absence, and he was very keen to put his hand up.
Hang on, before we get to our special guest, can we try to narrow the field a bit? So, an AFL player was supposed to be here. Club? Richmond.
A struggling.
Richmond, right?
Yeah.
Player?
I don't think we need to say who not here. We just focus on who is here,
okay,
and the people that are here, and that is Brad Close from Geelong Football Club. Be Close, your swing, your style.
Yeah. I'm in the prize pack, so I get my own merch today for coming in.
How is it all going?
Yeah, it's really fun actually. Having something on the side of football, which the footy club's really good at supporting us with. So they give us plenty of time to work on things like that, and always lending a hand as well.
And fun playing football too, given you play for a club that has lots and lots of wins and is going to gear up at least for another crack, a proper one at a flag.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We know we're in a good position at the minute, so we need to stay on top of that at the minute and play some good footy leading into the last 2.
Were you disappointed with some aspects of Friday night, Brad, where you let the Bombers back into it in that 3rd quarter?
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing. We didn't execute very well.
Bang, look at that.
Missed a few goals. That was 1 from 3. I think I missed 3 others. But, yeah, we didn't execute inside 50, and then some of the stuff around the footy, we weren't very clean, so there's plenty to work on still.
Sydney, sorry. I was going to ask the same question. Yeah, Sydney next week couldn't come at better timing for you guys.
100%. They had a good win yesterday against good opposition as well, so we've got to be on our game next week up there and hopefully play some better footy than this week.
You're probably sick of this, but the Jeremy Cameron situation, like, is it a distraction at all for you players out there?
No, I don't think so. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 times that we probably looked for him when we probably shouldn't have, which we spoke about. But look, he's a great shot for goal, and if we can get it in his hands any week, it's probably better than most of us kicking it anyway.
He's an unbelievable player. Just as important to you guys, I think, is Max Holmes and the run he gives through the midfield. In terms of pace, over 50 metres, would anybody at Geelong beat him?
No, I don't reckon. He's pretty quick. Maybe Sheen Mullen, actually. Sheen's very quick as well, so those two will go head-to-head.
And how have you found the addition of Bailey Smith this year? Now you've nearly got a full season behind you with it, and the juggernaut that he is on and off field.
Yeah, him and Max, both of them, they give us a lot of run, like you say, and they both kicking the footy really well. So ahead of the footy, it's awesome to lead up at.
All right, terrific stuff, mate. Well, this is what you're playing for. If, in fact, you become the clubhouse leader, the end of the year prize is this.
It certainly is. This is the best prize pack in the business. $15,000 worth of machinery here. This is the Temper mattress. It goes up and down, and it goes into a place called 0G, and that's where astronauts start off when they go into space. Jason, Nicholas and the team, the Temper mattresses are the best in the world.
Speaking of astronauts, Jim Lovell passed away yesterday.
And the Temper mattresses, g'day to Jim out there. And if you sleep well all night and then you can play golf during the day with the Callaway, our very good friends from Callaway, custom fitting at Callaway HQ. Total price of around $15,000, and that's up for grabs. So Lawson Humphries, 75. I know you got your hands out, Llordo. Brett Deledio on 79.
Play golf? Because every time you promote the golf clubs, you play cricket.
Don't play a lot of golf, Llordo. I like golf, but I don't play a lot of golf.
Jim Lovell, by the way, was the commander in the Apollo 13. Remember, Tom Hanks played him in the movie?
Yes. No, I didn't know that, but I learn something new every day, so thank you very much.
No worries.
Why is Rory over there?
Well, I've been staring at this board all year, and I can't stand that I'm down the bottom half of that board. 62, so I'm here to redeem myself.
That's rubbish. Hang on. As we go down the board, keep going. Are you going to see...
No, stop.
No, there's 2 names down the bottom
there. Yeah, but that was done before.
Oh,
that's shot. That's
right,
shot.
OK.
Yeah, still.
So we've got B Close, who's here, and T Brown, who's not here. So that might give us a clue.
That's our Sloan today.
Well, like I said, I would rather just focus on who is here, Tony.
Let's spin this thing. Let's get it going.
All right, move the target.
Sharp Llordo up there. Yeah. No, you go. Yeah, you go, Closey.
You go, mate.
Is it 5 right, 5 left?
Yeah, 5 right, 5 left.
5 left.
What's that, Llordo?
7.
Solid start.
Oh, nice.
14.
Do you want to do it, Browny?
No.
7.
21. Oh, that's nice. 31.
7.
38. So 38. Okay. Now Rory comes in.
Do I do the Matt Kennedy, take my wedding ring off?
7.
Oh. Oh, this 14.
Rory.
7. 21.
You're away.
7. 28. 35. Very consistent. Lucky not to get a 5 in that first one, I thought, Llordo.
Oh, no, don't be
Brad. Brad close. +3 at the moment.
7.
So 45,
Good off the other hand.
52. 59.
5.
64. And a 7 to finish off. That is 71. Oh, Roy, don't waste any time. 40.
Hey!
Oh, he's blown up.
7.
47.
7.
54.
170.
Browny.
One more.
61 and 68. So Brad close by 3. 71 to 68. Rory loses again.
Good score, though, Brad.
Surprised you didn't do the power stance before you.
I thought about it. It wasn't enough time, but... Yeah.
All righty, well done, Brad. Congratulations to you. Thanks very much for coming in, mate, and all the very best for the remainder of the season, which will go deep into September, we're sure. So right now, we'll sign off, as we always do.
Well done, Tony. Wherever you may be, may the sun shine on you today. Have a great Sunday, everyone.
I thought we were doing...